we're pleased, he's got $5.
Is that all you're gonna charge him for? Jeez.
The birthday party
Ink is expensive.
was fun. She had a sleepover,
Yeah.
so we had all these little kids.
You know, the grandkids, your grandkids must be enjoying this lifestyle.
Well,
Ryan, what are all those
I think so,
names
you know.
up there?
I think their parents are enjoying it. The kids seem to adapt to anything.
Oh, yeah. K through 8.
You know how kids are. They
But
just-
to have these kinds of
Oh,
friends, these kinds
around
of.
there, by there?
And apparently, they've taken school and kids,
Jeez.
other kids have
When
taken,
Robin
and
named
apparently they've
the
got all kinds
chosen
of.
I don't think so, Arbor Day.
It's so important to kids too.
And I'm hoping with soccer and piano lessons and all these.
When are they gonna build it? What did you say? Oh, when?
Yeah.
Arbor Day,
Karen said
event that we
fingers
have.
crossed.
Yeah, Wally almost, not almost, he got in a political discussion with somebody there. I said, whoa, no. This was the
Oh,
father of
that's that
Lana's
land that
best
got
friend.
deeded to the city from,
Yeah.
Grandfather,
Yeah.
yeah, grandfather.
now what, are they gonna put a park
That's not a
over by, on the roundabout over here, across from Del Monte?
I don't think that's really like,
Well,
any discussions about
he
that.
zeroed right in on the fact that we
I
were
just
from
wondered
Colorado.
because,
Yeah.
You know, like a rec center, I mean.
Hello,
We're concentrating on town center.
That's right, this is an event.
part of the problem
Yes.
is, you gotta be swampy.
But he brought it up.
We were
I
in.
thought, oh, you're bringing it up to the wrong person.
So,
I think it looks fine the way it is right now.
well, I think it does. Use it for extra parking when you have things at community park, and it's a good deal.
Morning, David.
Good,
Doing well, how are you?
Just killing it.
Good.
And I,
Mr.
hey, how you doing? And I started
Morning.
getting up and he.
How are you doing?
I'm doing
You
fine.
know they can.
You think our
How's
latest
Carol?
will be here today?
Carol is fine also.
Good. Back from the far
You
north?
want me to answer yes?
From the far north?
Yeah, well, we're back from the far north,
I'm
east,
guessing no,
northeast.
it's already past 10.
That's what my guess is.
Probably
Yes.
starting January or something.
I mean,
So
that
you
looked
got, you
like
have,
Gail was
Jill
here, I
on the
got
line?
that message.
Yes,
Yeah.
with the little pencils always.
Oh, no, I was thinking the purple coat.
Oh,
Oh, and that too.
didn't say.
Another hint.
Are they?
I guess I
Are the
should,
gutters
should I
up?
sign for her? I'll sign
Yeah.
for her.
Gutters
Well,
up?
why don't you?
We almost had Denzel on the line.
Good.
Yeah.
Oh, did
I
you?
didn't go look since I've
We
been
talked to
back.
him
Well, I
late
talked to you a couple of
yesterday.
days ago.
That's right.
Yeah,
Said tell everybody hello and I miss them.
yeah, he
Sure, Jen.
really stressed that yesterday. I miss everybody.
Aw.
Who's
Yeah.
that, Denzel?
Yes,
Is he coming out for the party?
no,
Well, that's good.
well, I don't know. We need to let him know about it, I guess.
One of the
I
things.
asked him when he was gonna come up next, and he said
I hope I spelled the last name
maybe
right.
next spring or something like
I think
that.
I did.
Don't worry.
They may not want to come in
Yeah.
December, although that one year they
Hi,
did.
Gail.
Yeah, it was Mary.
Quite country, right?
This
Oh,
says
he is.
She's trying to
Oh,
rate
there
it,
he is.
so you should let us know.
To get here in time,
It's
he's
gonna work out, so she's
trip
probably
at home, and I have a feeling that
Yeah, I didn't hear anything.
it's all good.
I know how that is.
Where's my
Works out
gavel?
in the end, does
It does.
There,
Oh,
there.
my word.
Oh, wow, that's a good
Oh,
gap.
he didn't say gravel, he said yeah.
Oh, shut up.
How about grovel?
Wait till I go, yo! I could do the second daters.
Come back from the necessity there, so,
Oh, it does not.
So we're not having,
Sit down, Bob, we're starting.
we're not having,
You're bossy today, Walt.
Huh?
You're
I could
bossy.
send a
No,
pin
it's not to
around,
me.
I
it's
guess.
gonna be Rita.
oh, okay. I was hoping somebody.
Since she's not here, I'm gonna pass out something that, I made 10 copies, so maybe there's enough to go around, but it's kind of a cute little article that Captain Barth sent me the other day. So while
Dave and I could share it.
Molly's asking if anyone's gonna be here from the board, and Brian informs me that Rita Dozal is our new liaison.
Who is?
Rita,
Oh,
and
Dear.
we'll,
Have to plan till at least 12:30.
oh, it's Lindsay, okay, good.
We shouldn't say that.
I know.
She's very committed.
Oh, and Nice.
DOZAL. Lindsay. So, Since she's not here, I'm gonna assume she's not going to be here, and,
Got room?
Yeah.
Oh, there's extras.
and
Two here.
Pardon?
How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Yeah, okay.
Well, the reason I'm asking, I
Kitty's okay?
push this.
Yes, not so fond of the weather, but they're okay.
Oh, I know.
Actually,
Well,
oh, yeah.
I mean, I
Luxie
understand
went
right now,
out.
we can't.
the leaves, got a cat cold again. He got it while we were gone,
Joe had said, well, bring it
but
up.
luckily got over it really quickly,
After that or not.
so the sitter didn't freak
I don't know, I'm
out.
guessing we got some time to work with there.
Well, yeah, but it means
Here again, there's no year.
come to bear with the state.
Darn it. One thing we are always.
Well, good morning, let's convene the meeting, why don't we? It's finished by noon o'clock. So I just passed around that little article there that I found to be very interesting. I
Find a bullet.
went back and I replied to Catherine, and I forgot what she said now in terms of when this was written. I think she didn't write it down, so she's going to let me know when this is published. I'd say it's probably her 19-teens or so forth. But George Kuffner they used the newfangled X-ray machine to find the bullet in George Kuffner. I think that's pretty funny. And that's in the last sentence of the first paragraph. And then found one in the thigh of the deputy, the county sheriff deputy. So try to get a copy of this to George and Danny.
What side were they on?
Yeah, that's a good question. Well, supposedly he was the marshal. I don't know exactly what that means. So welcome back, everybody, and
Just a quick question, was Marshall Kuffner, was he killed? Or was that something later and a different family member?
it seems like they've talked before about their grandpa or whatever relationship that would be getting shot.
Hmm.
So this must be being shot. I don't know if he
Okay.
was killed or not.
Oh, okay, okay.
Had to ask him. Okay, order of
Thank you.
order, and Karen, you can start with the minutes if you would, please.
Okay, meeting minutes from October 21st. Meeting was called to order by Chairperson Larry Dorsey. In attendance were commission members Mary Cartwright, Larry Dorsey, Lindsay Flewelling, Bob Morgan, Katie Olson, Jill Roberts, Errol Waligorski, and Karen Waligorski. Staff Brian Meyer, Town Board Member Joe Sorelli, and others David Cartwright, Maureen Hogue, Ellen Horn Lamb, Gail Casana, and Gerald Zancanelli. Minutes of the September 16th meeting were read. Bob Morgan moved they be approved as amended. Mary Cartwright seconded the motion, and the motion carried. Treasurer's reports were given as follows. Bob Morgan reported that the fire truck account currently has a balance of $268. Brian reported that there is $1,162 in the 2016 Historic Preservation account. Capital Improvement account has a balance of $5,000. Debriefings were discussed as follows. There were just a few visitors at the October 1 museum opening. Larry attended the October 20th Boulder Heritage Roundtable meeting. He reported that about 1/3 of the map collection at the Carnegie Library has been digitized. Boulder County has restored the Altoona Schoolhouse. Mary Cartwright attended the October 20th program on the archaeological investigation at the industrial mine, presented by the DU students at the Louisville Library. It was very well done and could be a potential spring program for us. All agreed that the 3 second-grade field trips to the museum, Esty Park, Grasso Park, and the town hall went very well this year. It was suggested that we add the fire truck to the program next year. Larry attended an ANFRAM meeting on Monday, October 17th in Arvada. He learned that the Miners Museum in Lafayette has a new curator with Claudia retiring. They may convert from being a society to being a commission. Cataloging and Filing Commission worked one day this month and made some progress. Jill reported on the oral history video QR project. She wants to begin videos in Grasso Park as people are available. There is no news on the Superior Information in Wikipedia project. Brian reported that the historic fire truck will not be in this year's Rocky Mountain Auto Show in Denver. He reported that there are funds approved in the 2017 budget, $25,000, for continued restoration of the truck, including the truck's interior, work on the exhaust system, and restriping. The Christmas potluck will be held on December 11th from 1 to 4 p.m. at the Summit at Rock Creek Community Clubhouse. Details will be discussed at the November meeting. Karen announced that there was no correspondence sent in the past month. The group would like a thank you sent to Clint Folsom for lunch at Old Chicago after our last second grade field trip, and also to say goodbye to Joe Sorelli. Brian reported on plans to install a black iron hand railing set in concrete, 6 feet wide by 3 to 4 feet high, on the back porch of the museum. Cost will be $758, with funds coming from any remaining in the museum and Grasso Park improvement account, and then existing funds in the historic preservation account. There was group consensus to go forward with this project. He also reported that Colorado Seamless Gutter will install gutters on the museum and Grasso House next week, funded from the museum and Grasso Park improvement account. The group agreed to cancel plans for a cemetery tour this year due to all the construction work taking place in the area and lack of a good path or road to the cemetery entrance. It is important to the commission that the developer keep such a path or road in the future construction plans as stated in the early planning phase. Larry conducted a tour of the industrial mine area on Sunday for Cub Scouts and parents. New business. Staffing for the museum opening on November 5th was discussed. The Boulder Heritage Roundtable is scheduled for November 17th at 11:30 in the Mustard's Last Stand building. Members discussed the low attendance at the second opening of the museum each month during the summer and made the decision not to have 2 openings each month next summer. Larry announced that the lunch supplies are located near the south wall of the museum basement. Brian discussed the Count the Lights holiday event to be December 3rd in Asti Park. The museum will not be open from 10 to 2 that day, but will be open during the event from 5:30 to 7:30. The fire truck will be there, but will not have lights on it this year due to the new paint job. There will be lights in the park and potentially Santa Claus and a hay rack ride, along with hot chocolate and s'mores. Brian passed out copies of the 2016 work plan as a reference for discussions and finalizing the 2017 work plan to be done in the November meeting. The group expressed their sincere thanks to Joe Sorelli for serving in the role of town board liaison. There will be a farewell open house on October 25th at the Renaissance Hotel for those board members whose terms are ending. Wally noted that the jail in Grasso Park needs to have a cover over it. There was a discussion about the old schoolhouse owned by Danny Kuffner and its future long-term. The group also brought up the idea of reinstating the Boulder County Historical Group Saturday breakfast, which used to be in January and then was changed to a summer month. This group has not met for quite some time. Our commission hosted it one year. Bob Morgan moved that the meeting be adjourned at noon, and Wally Waligorski seconded the motion. Next meeting, November 18th.
Any additions or corrections? Minutes, I have a couple.
Okay.
I think I mispronounced the name of the schoolhouse, so number 1 under old business is Altona, it's only 1 O.
Oh, okay.
So,
Altona,
right,
okay.
and been chuckling all morning about the Mustard's Last Stand building. Now, that's a landmark in Boulder. that's for
Yes, it
sure.
is. I was there when I went to school.
That's been there forever.
It's actually, it's the City of Boulder building. Boulder. It's part of the Boulder Municipal Building.
Oh.
So, Mustard's is right below it, but so.
You want me to change
I
that?
don't know, it gives it a unique.
Great hot dog.
Yeah, it does.
Well, people that know where it is.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know where it is.
Yes. I myself had a Mustard's Last End dog yesterday, by golly, so. Okay, motion to accept the minutes as corrected, as amended.
I make a motion that the minutes be accepted as read.
I'll second.
The Altona correction, yeah. Mary seconded. Did you catch that?
Uh-huh.
Okay. All in favor, say yahoo.
Yahoo.
Okay, there we go. Okay.
It's such
So,
a formal meeting.
Just like the old
Who's
days.
a yahoo?
Yeah.
Just didn't throw our hats in the air.
I think I'm going to speak to that number 10 item about the Boulder County Historical Preservation Group. I got to thinking after I read the minutes this morning that that group actually has been meeting. But what they've done is they come up with it being on the same day as our historic walk. So
Okay.
So I sent an email out to Carol Bean this morning to confirm that. She hadn't got one back yet, so I was looking. So I think that's what's happening. So at some point, we'll see if that's what happens again, and maybe free somebody, gosh, sorry about that, folks. Maybe free somebody up from our event to go to that event. So if that's what happens again. Okay, so just off the agenda for a minute or two here, Bob and Denzel and Bob and Wally and I went to visit with Danny a week and a half or so ago, and he's still pretty much stays in his bed a lot, I think, and then we took some sandwiches over and just shot the breeze with him and had I think he really scarfed that sandwich down. I think he appreciated something to eat there.
Yeah, he didn't even bother to take his glove off on one hand.
That's right, he didn't, did he? So, we just, and we had a nice conversation. I had a conversation with Denzel a couple of days ago. It sounds like Polagorski's had one yesterday. So, and I put forth to Denzel a suggestion on how to maybe ask Danny about the future of all of his stuff on his property, not just the building. So, wouldn't want to give the appearance of just hovering around for the building. So,
Yeah, that was, I think, pretty much all three of us felt the same. We didn't want him to think that we were vultures perched on a post waiting for him to. He had something pretty interesting to say. Way back when his dad was alive, or was it out of the Rocky Mountain Fuel Company, he bought 2 blocks?
yeah, I think it was.
Now, it was 2 blocks in Superior down here, and his dad did. And Danny ended up in conjunction with his dad, helping him pay it off. So I have the feeling that Danny maybe owns more down in there, or I don't know if he still does, but I had the feeling he maybe still has.
I think so.
Access to a lot more down there than what one thinks. And maybe his schoolhouse is not part of the, what did they call that?
Trust.
Trust.
Trust, yeah.
It may actually belong to Danny, although we don't know that in fact.
So that's how Kuffner's ended up with that Kuffner compound down there, is that George and Danny's dad bought
Yeah.
2 little blocks. And all the lots on them,
Yeah.
of course, so.
And he made it quite clear that nobody else in the family helped his dad pay it off other than him.
So that's a little update on our diplomatic
Have you heard any more of
entrees.
this condition?
Nope. Oh, and he was, his daughter's been taking him, daughter's been calling him every day, and his daughter's been taking him to the doctor, and they found one of his ribs didn't heal up after his fall, and got something in his lung, something in his lung, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
He has a tumor, he has a lump on his back.
and that's it.
And, well, and he's not so sure that it's maybe not, well, he has a lump on it, he's not so sure it's not a tumor, and he's thinking maybe that's affecting his lungs too. So, he's quite concerned. And that was another reason we didn't push him on the building itself. And he started to become quite emotional talking about the historical commission and all the work we've done on it. I almost thought he was gonna kind of cry with me. He's really appreciative of what we're doing.
We'll drop in and visit him again one of these days, yeah.
So,
Okay, so going through the agenda, then, the museum opening on November 5th.
The
I
treasurer's report.
apologize, let's do the treasury reports.
There's many money around anyway. It's still the same, the fire,
spend it.
fire truck restoration account is still $268. I don't guess there are any donations in the last museum opening.
Might have been, but I didn't take anything out of it, yeah, so.
Yeah, there was a donation.
There was.
Plus, Larry found some money
Oh, that's right.
on the ground or
I
something.
found some money on the ground, I think it might have been, maybe it's our smokers or something, somebody get something out of them. Yeah, so there's a few more bucks in there, Bob.
Can you see? I'll try to
Thank
show.
you. Okay, Brian, Brian.
Yeah, the historic preservation account balance is $956.40.
Should that $268 just go into the, what should we do with that? Can we do something specific with it, or should it go
Yeah, I
into
think,
the budget category that's
Yeah, I
gonna be in
want
the
to
next
say,
year?
you know, like our finance department brought it up recently, and I don't want to say it's going to disappear at the end of the calendar year, but it's knowing that the fire truck project this past year did go over budget.
Yeah.
So, you know, I assume like if they're getting an audit or whatnot, I think they want to see that at least any funds that were out there, such as in an account like that, was put towards, you know, that project. Because that did go over the 25 a little bit, so. So yeah, it may disappear, it may just start over in January. I'm not sure, I'm thinking that may happen.
Oh, that sounds fair.
Yeah.
That makes sense from the financial.
And what's left in the capital improvement account? Anything?
Yeah, capital improvement account after the gutters came out of that is $794.
We'll get to it eventually then, how we talk about what to do with those two balances there. Okay. Zoom opening on the 5th, what do we end up with, 2 and 4 or something? Like that? Two off right at the beginning and 2 at the end, I think.
2 while I was there.
Yeah, so I think we only had about 4 or 5 people. The first couple, first thing in the morning, were really interested, spent a lot of time there. And they were from Rock Creek. We went to the round table yesterday, and just a couple of tidbits. The lady from Niwot indicated that the Niwot Bank, the bank in Niwot's going to have a commemoration, I think next month, of the 100-year anniversary of being robbed.
Oh.
Had to stick up at the Niwot Bank
Oh.
in 1916, so.
Oh, golly.
Those maps I mentioned every month are just about finished, so all the maps that they have in their collection will soon all be digitized, and will be accessible through the catalog, and you can print them off at your own home. They're looking for, Carnegie is looking for interviewers to be trained to be interviewers for oral histories, if anyone's interested in that. Their oral history program is kind of on hold right now because they don't have enough people to do the interviewing.
Interesting.
Uh, Okay, we had the farewell deal at Renaissance Hotel, as they say in some parts of the world, and that was very nice.
Yeah, it was. I was able to go. It was a really nice thing the town did for those
Yeah.
folks, yeah.
So Karen, you put that on the agenda, didn't you? About the farewell?
Yes, yeah.
So we just want to give feedback to the town. That was a nice
Well,
function. And
I was just recognizing that it happened.
It was
Doesn't necessarily need a
it was nicely done, though, I thought. Oh, Lafayette Historical Program. Yours truly, who prides himself in being able to find things on maps and so forth, could never find the meeting. So I went to this coffee shop on Simpson Street in Lafayette, and there were just people drinking beer, listening to a guitar player, so. So I don't have any idea what happened. I've been meaning to call, email Jerry and find out what happened, but, so I didn't take that one in. Well, Alan and Gail or Mary, would you like to speak to our recent cataloging?
No. We managed to get 2 or 3 done every time,
Yeah.
which doesn't sound very good, does it?
Well, no, it actually does.
And there,
Progress.
thanks to Larry, we've got, photographs that we make sure get in there. And it has been mentioned to us that maybe we should upgrade the program, because then we can call if we have a question, which we have had. So that might be something to think about.
Yeah. I've got that on my notes too, because especially if we have some leftover quote money here, it seems like it usually costs $350 maybe to stay current on the past perfect. So
I know one of the options with the new one, or at least as of a year ago, you could import video, so that videos could be part of that collection. So that's something to think about. And probably audio, I'm sure,
yeah, I bet so. Yes, okay, so we'll explore that, because I don't know, Brian, I can't remember. It seems like we let that, either let it lapse or
Yeah.
just put it on a low priority or something like that, so.
Yeah, that's like an upgrade that we didn't do not too long ago. I remember chatting with you about that, but I'll look and see
Okay,
if it's
please,
something
yeah.
we can do this year yet.
Or if not, first thing with next year's budget
Yeah.
or something too, yeah.
Now, out of this money, the preservation account, have the gutters been paid for?
Yeah, that came out of the capital improvement.
So they've been paid?
Yeah.
But not
Okay.
the railing?
Not the railing, which, yeah, we can get into that, yeah. But yeah, there actually will be enough in the capital improvement account to use towards the railing,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, if not, there'd be some left over in the regular budget.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Oral History Project. Nothing new on that, I suspect.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, Maureen wasn't able to be here today because her ride provider wasn't able to get to her due to the weather, apparently. And Katie also was not able to be here this morning, and neither was Jill. Jill thought she might be able to get in by phone, but looks like she wasn't able to, so that's where those 3 folks are. Fire truck future work.
Yeah, the only thing I have, certainly by the January meeting, I'll contact Mount High Classics, and I'll get some, I'll get an estimate on those items that we prioritize for next year. So the exhaust and the upholstery, the interior, seat belts and whatnot, and the restriping as well. So definitely by January, we'll have an idea. And again, that 25,000, like to reiterate, that's kind of like a placeholder,
Yeah.
so we know, let's say we do that work and there's funds remaining, it'll probably get put towards, something else, so.
Especially since it went over last year.
Yes, yeah. This won't go over.
Okay. Very good.
Now, is Mile High gonna address these? I mean, they're gonna do it all, the exhaust, the whole 9 yards?
I mean, I think bringing it up last month, I think everyone feels pretty comfortable with continuing with them if they're gonna have the truck on site and they're familiar with it and.
Oh, I don't have a problem.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was just wondering if they
Well,
were
I
gonna
think
take care
they're
of it.
capable of doing that, yeah.
Sure, okay.
I'll make sure, but yeah, I think they can do it all.
I'm gonna put dual exhaust on it, split manifold, put some stacks on it.
Yeah, put some stacks on there.
Some flames coming out.
Yeah. Lower it in the front.
Put a Hemi in it.
Yeah.
That's it, the hot rod fire truck.
Smoke the front wheels.
Okay, Christmas potluck. Any update on that from?
Rooms reserved.
Rooms reserved?
And what's the full address? I picked up some from Karen's minutes, but the summit at,
Rock Creek,
just the summit at Rock Creek.
yeah, and it's 2855 Rock Creek Circle.
Okay, thank you.
And all the houses have the same address, just different numbers. And if you come in the main entrance and go up to Main Street, there's a big building, and the big building is the clubhouse.
Okay.
What's the address again?
2855 Rock Creek Circle. If you know where the Land Rover dealer is,
Yeah?
okay, it's those townhouses are on the hill above Land Rover.
Well, are you going to put out a flyer, or do you want me to put out a flyer that goes
What?
out to everybody?
Well, that was a question I was going to ask you, who is going to do it?
That's what I was asking you.
I don't care.
Karen has a track record.
I don't care either.
Well, you have all the-
But since you're hosting it, I wondered if you, I'm not trying to push it off on you.
No,
I just
that's
wondered
fine.
if
I
you
just
wanted
don't
to
have all
do
the-
it because
I
you're
just don't
hosting.
have all the email addresses.
Oh, okay, well,
So we can work on it together, and I'll get you the information,
okay,
and then you can send it out. How's that?
that's fine, sure.
Okay.
Yeah, if you email me your flyer,
Mhm.
then I'll just forward it on to everybody.
Right. Okay.
And then anyone that doesn't have email, we'll mail them a copy.
Get the pigeon out of yet?
Not too late, James.
I guess it goes for Jerry too.
Yeah, well,
Well,
yeah.
it's a parking
Do you have email,
Yeah.
Gary?
Clubhouse, yeah, okay.
Do you have an email
If not-
address?
There's Rock Creek Circle, you can park them right.
You read your email, Jerry?
But I'll have to call it you. I didn't remember.
Well, okay,
Do we need to then contact you with the ring or?
Okay.
okay. That's what I was gonna discuss with Walt too. Maybe you and I need to talk about, do you wanna know who's bringing what? Or do you want me to know who's bringing what? Just so we don't get a bunch of duplications. We never do anyway. I don't know how necessary that is. But some people would call me and say, what don't you have yet, or what do you need?
Okay. We can coordinate that from responses from the flyer, and
Okay,
just put in there, let us know. Let one of us know, and then we'll.
yeah, okay.
Okay.
And Wally is willing to do the meet again, unless
Well, I
you
thought
had
that
a,
was pretty much-
No, I assumed he was.
okay.
He's
Now,
already
do
looking
you
for
want
those
me
prairie
to-
dogs, aren't you?
Actually, there's a new meat market down in Boulder, it's starting next month, they're gonna start offering possum, so we may
Yeah.
have a change.
Border
No
Patrol
lie.
in New Zealand?
Yeah.
All right, good.
Possum tail.
And,
Actually, we're gonna probably we're going to have a brisket.
Oh.
Possum brisket?
Yeah.
Take a lot of possums.
Yes.
All right. Well, it sounds like then to summarize that Karen and Walt will work this out, and I think Karen, with your secretarial skills, maybe it'd be good to keep it all that coordinated probably.
Yeah, I'll
yeah,
work-
okay, now a little discussion here. You know, last 3 years, we had to cut back on children coming because we simply didn't have the room in the house. Now we have lots of room. Are there additional, do we want children to come? Or or do Walt?
Doesn't matter.
And also,
There's
are
plenty
there
of place for
others,
him to run.
are there others that need to be included that we couldn't include in the past because of our space restrictions?
Is that ADA accessible too?
Yes,
Well, we could invite Ted again.
Yeah, I was thinking about Ted.
yes,
And
it
then
is.
Joe Sorelli,
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
And
yeah.
Rita,
Yeah, Joe for sure.
and Rita.
Well, he's already said he's coming, so.
Joe did?
Yeah, he
He
told me.
wasn't missing, huh? Okay,
I think he mentioned that to me.
yeah,
And then
I
okay.
think it'd be nice if we'd have the children, like, so Brian could
Yeah.
have his whole family
I
and
want to see the children.
whoever.
Yeah,
Yes,
There's
they're always nice.
plenty of room,
When they
is
come.
not a problem. I don't, we're putting in, we're taking the carpet out and putting in a new tile floor in the whole interior of the building. Which is tile that looks like wood.
Oh.
And it's a new concept.
Mhm.
And so I'm not sure where they will be in the process yet. I'm trying to find that out. So we may just have a floor without carpet on because they didn't put the tile in yet or what they're doing. So, but otherwise,
That would open up for
but
Brian
it'll
and
work
for
out.
Katie also.
Yeah.
Who else? Katie and Brian. and-
Yeah,
trying to think who
I'm
else.
just gonna need to have enough advance notice on how many is going to be there so that I can
yep,
do my end accordingly.
right.
How many possums to get?
Yeah, how many possibly,
Yeah.
because it's gonna take me probably a couple of days advance preparation,
Yeah,
so I need to have plenty
Yeah.
of time.
yeah, you have to catch those groundhogs too,
Yeah.
but they're easy.
Oh. And the Dorseys aren't gonna be able to be there, I'm afraid, so.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah,
Well, be that way.
yeah, well, somebody didn't put something on the calendar, this time it wasn't me.
Is Cheryl still in
Oh.
Omaha?
Cheryl, what?
Is Cheryl still in Omaha?
I got a text that says she landed.
Landed
Denver,
here?
so, yeah, so, yeah, Cheryl got stuck in Omaha last night,
Oh,
No.
really?
Oh, great.
and,
How many
Please.
feet?
it wasn't so much,
Uh-huh.
it just, she couldn't get a plane. It's kind of difficult to fly home without a plane, so. I think it might have been weather related, but they called it
Huh,
something to do with the aircraft, so
oh, that's
so
too bad.
United paid for a motel room that way.
It was
so
probably
it's-
flying,
Oh, that's good.
it was probably flying from here to Omaha, and they couldn't get to Omaha last night with all the ice.
Could be. Well, okay, very good, and it'll be a
Okay.
great experience, thanks to Wally, of course, for all of his cooking, and thanks to Karen and Wally and Walt for all the organization.
What do we, what do you want for drinks?
Well, what's been done in the past?
Well,
You've done the drinks.
yeah, I make the wassail
Oh,
because
okay.
it's a hot drink.
Okay,
And Wally made coffee.
yeah.
Yeah, we have a big coffee room.
Well, I have one
Now,
too.
that's up to everybody. What do you want to drink?
Well, I was thinking coffee, hot water for tea, and I don't know, the wassail and maybe some hot apple cider.
Well, that's really good, yeah. I mean, we could, do you want that instead of the wassail? We've had wassail for 21
Well,
years.
that's- Okay, you do the hot apple cider. I'll take care of the coffee and so on.
Okay, that sounds good.
All right.
Now, you say you're gonna take care of the, so then you don't need me to bring the coffee pot?
Nope, I got a
Okay.
coffee.
Well, I just wanted to check to make sure so that,
Yeah, we have a coffee pot in the,
Oh, okay. That's
So
building.
that we can find it. Well, everything got moved around when our basement got
Yes.
flooded.
we know where.
Hear about
Yes, I know.
Yeah. Okay,
Okay,
got it.
museum back porch. Is that, correspondence, I'm sorry, correspondence?
The only correspondence I sent out was a thank you to Clint Folsom for providing lunch for us at Old Chicago.
I think that makes you up to date, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Can you think of anything else? Do we have any donations we need to recognize?
Just a thought, what about a thank you card to Joe Sorelli for?
That was going to be my next
Okay.
question.
Okay, yeah.
I think we could send something to him.
Well, I think
Yeah.
we should.
We all really appreciate it.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Great
Okay.
demeanor.
I think, yeah, grateful for his support. That was pretty
Good idea. Okay, now museum back porch.
Yeah, the railing should be getting
Railing.
installed any day now.
Oh, really?
Matt is, Matt Rarick is mainly coordinating with the fence guy, so that you should see a new railing being installed there shortly.
So before the lights.
Yeah, I'm almost 100% on
Okay,
that, yeah.
good. Just to be
And
sure.
So that cost is $758. And I think just looking at the capital improvement account balance, obviously we can just, use those funds for this project, and then that'll essentially wipe out
The account.
that account,
That's
yeah.
what I want.
The gutter project actually didn't, it was a little bit cheaper because they didn't have to saw back the museum building, they didn't have to saw back
Overhang.
the overhang, yeah,
The
to
shingles.
help make the gutters more efficient, so they're able to.
I was wondering about that.
Yeah.
It didn't look like they had to, so.
Yeah.
Good.
So that saved a little bit of money. So yeah, that should be done shortly. And then Larry and I are gonna meet with Matt here shortly, hopefully early next week, and, kind of troubleshoot on that porch. And it looks like that's getting
Sinking
worse, those two boards that are pushing up there.
Yeah.
So just be careful when you guys are there next, especially in the dark at this event, because that's certainly a tripping hazard, those boards coming up.
Shouldn't we have some of that black and yellow tape just stretched over where there's,
Yeah, we
so
can do
that to
that.
really focus
Yeah.
people, this is hazardous?
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, probably a good idea.
And you said the railing's gonna be set in the ground and not on the
Yeah.
porch deck.
Yeah. It'll be set in the ground, so even if any future work to that porch, if it needs raised or whatnot,
Yeah, I agree with Bob, I think that's a good idea.
And then attached to the wall of the house, the exterior.
Yeah, I think the railing, from what I understand, yeah, it'll be in
Concrete.
Concrete, yeah,
That goes.
up against the house, not necessarily attached maybe, but, so.
Okay, very good. And then as we were talking earlier, then that leaves us with over $900 in the preservation budget.
Go back to your gutters there, Brian. You have somebody that does the cleaning the gutters here on the, you might want to put the little homestead house and the museum on that list of
Yeah,
flush out the gutters or
Yeah.
whatever you do.
oh, you in the future, you mean? Yeah, when it starts building up?
Whenever
Yeah.
the leaves and everything
Yeah.
else, if you got
Yeah.
somebody that does their yearly thing or whatever.
We do actually, and then we just did town hall and
Yeah.
Parks and Rec building, so yeah, that's a good point.
Might add those
Yeah.
two buildings onto the
Yeah,
list.
okay. Yeah, that's good.
If you haven't
Yeah.
seen that yet, I think they look good, and I think look appropriate in those, on the museum building. I'm glad they didn't have to cut those shingles back, because I
Yeah.
think it looks good the way it is, so. Thanks for your work on that.
Actually, Larry, I can pull it up real quick, and won't take long. A few pictures that I took, you guys haven't seen
Oh, okay.
the gutters.
Gutters put on the grass.
Oh, good.
Pretty,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Oh, they were okay.
Well, that was the main,
If you do
Yeah,
live here.
first started.
that was just, 3 or 4 weeks ago.
They matched in really
That's a
nice.
big picture.
What am I doing? Famous questions.
So yeah, they didn't have to cut back any of the shingles there. I know it's hard to get excited about
They
gutters.
even got the downspouts far enough away from the
Yeah.
house.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
good.
Yeah.
So this one will actually, this downspout will help with the, well, I obviously the one on the other side will too, but there shouldn't be any drippage down into the stairwell there.
Yeah, that'll be.
Actually, no, I'm sorry, I'm
Yeah.
looking at it wrong.
Wrong wall. There we go.
Yeah, sorry. So that one, yeah, that'll get.
Because the person got pretty pretty wet going down those steps.
Yeah.
Well, on the ice too.
Yeah.
Now, that really come off looking nice.
So you can see, like, even on this side, next time you're over there, like, I think, I don't have any. It seems like this side, some of those boards are actually weathering a little bit, which is nice to see.
They are.
You know, obviously it'll take many more years, but.
Brian, there on the house here, you don't have, there's no extension of the elbow like you do in the,
Oh, yeah,
at the museum.
yeah.
And I think maybe you want, like, maybe
Oh,
you need to get
down-
the water a little bit farther away from the
Further away.
foundation. if you
Down
can.
below.
Yeah, okay.
Even some of those plasticky ones wouldn't cost a lot, and they
Oh,
last
yeah.
several years.
Yeah. Probably a good idea. Yeah, that's,
Yeah, you know, and then there's obviously there's money to pay
Some
for
money,
the,
yeah.
for the metal
Yeah.
ones if it would be.
Yeah, but you look good.
If you
yeah,
don't-
so, you know, like I said,
If you don't get it further away than that, you're gonna have the house start sinking.
Well, that's what it's been doing for the last 100 years too, so.
okay, yeah, I can look into that. Just have to be conscious walking around the, you know, the building, not to trip on them, but, yeah.
Well, I think that's good, now we don't have to worry about the
Vacant?
splash
Yeah,
up on the
just
bottom.
inch by inch.
Yeah.
That's the main
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you.
A funny experience on the lean-to part of that Grassville Park house. I was kind of looking at those things that keep walking around and right into the corner of that, and I had to find on my back, oh, what the heck hit me? I don't usually have trouble at my height with bumping my heads on things, but I sure, that one got me. So you put a yellow tag on that too, I guess.
At least there shouldn't be any hornets down
Yeah. Well, okay, so capital improvement project status, so we've pretty much spent our capital improvement money, great. Katie and Alan have any new ideas for displays?
We have a list of ideas. Katie and I need to talk about what would come next. So that's undetermined
Okay,
right now.
so Katie and I put up the front pages, the headlines from the Daily Camera, and then some stuff what we had stored away on World War I, and then those Bruno pieces of Mr. Bruno's military identification card and so forth. So that was our deal for the veterans.
Larry, could I, because when I was there with you and Lindsay, I wondered about, how they might walk away, because they're easy to walk. Is there something that we could get when we have a display? That top of that radio was sort of a good place, but a sheet of either a nice clear plexiglass or something to go over those just to secure them a little better?
Yeah, maybe so. That was a concern, but they weren't really, they were just out there for anybody to touch, knows the original documents too, so. Since we didn't have that many visitors, and since we're gonna put
Right.
it away, it's moot right now, but in the future, yeah. Maybe something like the plexiglass would work. Kind of like, well, I'll save that one. Yeah, we'll keep that in mind. Any other old business?
there. Yes. Mostly I'm just asking a question. Last month I brought up about the permanent access to the cemetery up here. Now, I realize now with so much going on, we can't have, I understand that. But I'm talking about down the future. Has the town board addressed or thought about the permanent road going up to the cemetery? You know, I brought that up and they were gonna go back to the developer and get him involved in this and having a small parking lot up there in front of the gate. And I was wondering, is that something that they're looking at so that the developer doesn't slip away without doing that?
Yeah, I think now's when it'd be nice if someone from the town board was here, because I really, I don't know. I don't, I apologize, I don't have any information on that.
I know, did we, and correct me if I'm wrong, did we discuss about, I don't know if it was you and me or some of us having a meeting with Matt? Maybe that was something you had brought up, I don't remember. And sitting down and discussing that, and maybe pushing it just a little bit.
You're talking about writing a letter or something about it.
Okay, is that another thing we were doing? Okay.
The last
Yeah, from what I understand, that was, yeah, a letter, I know, Larry talking with Patrick, or a formal letter, yeah, all that. I know all that was discussed last month.
Okay. So if we're doing a formal letter, I guess maybe that throws it sort of back on us. Maybe that's something, sometime between now and the first of the year, we should, I'd be willing to sit down with some people and discuss what we should put in it. I don't have a problem with that. And maybe try and get that to the board maybe by the first of the year or the end of next month. And get the new board members in and get them on board as to what we're talking about.
I think Rita will push that, because remember, we ran into Rita that time when we were over there, and she was excited about the fact that there was no access, really. That was quite a while ago,
Yeah,
but
I guess mostly what I'm just saying is what should we do next and when should we do it?
I think sending a letter to the town board right now is probably a good procedure, and then.
That's what I was thinking, especially with the new people coming in.
Letter to the board?
Town board.
do we want to wait until Rita is here in our meeting, or?
She won't be at one until January, probably.
Yeah.
No, I think we just go ahead and say
Okay.
this is our concern.
I'd be happy to work on that, so.
So I'm saying I wouldn't have a problem sitting down if you want to.
Yeah.
Whoever wants to set it up, we can discuss how we should word it and what we want to do. I'm available anytime, so we'll do it according to your schedule.
Okay.
I do think the cemetery does need some type of little parking area.
Yeah.
Well, at one time, and I think I brought that up last month, the developer was talking about putting an archway right there at the gate. They were gonna have plantings all down along the fence on that side. So, you know.
Almost like a park.
Right,
And that sort of thing.
and so I don't know if maybe that's still in it or if it's, but I think we should at least poke the bear with a stick and make sure that
Yeah.
it's still,
Because all of a sudden you'll hear it's too late.
yep. And that's, I'm starting to get concerned about that.
Yeah. And I
Because they
think-
did talk about that when we went to the meeting that was down at the fire station.
Right.
And that was, what, a couple of years ago at
Yep.
least, but at that time, they were on board for doing that.
Yeah, 'cause
But I
there's that,
haven't heard much about it since.
there's that maintenance ditch or maintenance road along that, what was it, water pipe that was in there? I can't remember.
Yeah.
What. And, so we were going to use that, and it was going to be, made so that people could,
Right.
because they're talking about just having the parking lot down by the
Ice rink.
ice rink down here and walking up there, and I just don't think that's
Well,
acceptable.
with other part of that conversation we talked about was having like 2 or 3 parking spots up there just for handicap. That was also what we talked about, was that little parking lot would be like 2 or
Yeah.
3 spaces just for handicap.
I think if they're gonna put one in, maybe we should push it a little bit bigger than 2 to 3. Maybe we could get somewhere neighborhood 6 to 8. Just if we're gonna start doing the October
Right.
thing back up there, so that there's a little more parking area for people that wanna drive up there.
Well, you also have to be considerate with the town, with the people doing the construction, how much room they have up there too, so people can turn around and go sit.
Well, that's what I'm saying. This might be the time to address that.
Yep.
And
It
make
is.
sure we get it. I'm not saying we want to push for 25 parking spaces up there. I don't believe in that, but maybe
Right.
6, 8.
As many,
Not get carried away, but,
as many that's appropriate.
okay. Yeah, that'd be the way to word it.
Okey-doke. work on that then. Any other, there's no other old business, we'll go to new business.
Actually, Larry, hold
Oh,
that real
sorry.
quick. I had in my notes, I don't know if you wanted that December 16th, that meeting and discussing the marketing schedule next month. Is that, you remember that?
No.
I had December 16th, 10 a.m., which I know there's no formal meeting next month, but
Yeah,
it was discussed last month to meet at 10 a.m. on the 16th to discuss a marketing schedule for 2017.
Mark.
Regular pamphlet.
Yep, I had that on here.
Did you have that in there? Yeah.
Uh-huh. And Jill, Katie, Larry, and Karen had volunteered to meet on December 16th.
at 10 a.m.
Maybe I should have put that in the minutes.
Yeah, I forgot all about that. Marketing for
Just a pamphlet for the museum.
putting together
Historic walk, I guess.
brochure.
Brochure, yeah.
Okay. Okay. December 16th. Yeah, that should work.
Yeah, something to keep in mind, and I'll chat with whoever's gonna be at that meeting, but, so the chamber doing their rooftop drops, their next one is in January, and it's going to 900 households, so.
Oh, and having it in that rooftop drop.
Yeah, so, if there's anything, could be anything, but it's a good free opportunity to,
Yeah, yeah.
That's in January?
that's in January, yeah. And they'll go to.
So Lindsay, Katie, and Larry, and
Jill, maybe?
Jill.
So, yeah, I'll come.
Good. Okay.
I had volunteered also.
Okay. Okay, good, thanks for bringing that up, because I totally forgot about it. I don't have it in my notes either, so. Okay, we're gonna work on the work plan now? Can we do,
I think, I don't know, I'll pull it up and, just like we did last year, I don't know, like I said, I think it's a little more energy now than, it's getting closer to the noon hour.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, work plan, like, oh.
No.
when is it due?
What's that?
When's it due?
Well, I mean, it's arriving in December meeting, I mean, it's gotta be finalized by the end of the year,
Okay.
so, yeah.
Since I did it after the first year last year, but that's probably because we didn't do it in December, huh? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it should, I don't want to speak too many edits here.
You know, we handed out a paper copy on this last month, I think.
Yeah, this,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, Larry, if there's something we can just go by each quarter, if there's anything,
Yeah.
any edits or additions.
Well, it's-
Well, I don't know whether it's appropriate or not, but I was thinking that you get with maybe Carol Beam or somebody, since a lot of the flood work now is over with, maybe they could look at the stabilizing the fan house up there in the old mine site, because it's, you know, whether they can do something with it or not, I don't know.
It's starting to open up,
Well,
the walls are gonna tip over.
yeah, I thought maybe they
Well-
could take a look at it and see if they could do something with it, I don't know.
Okay, why don't you hold that, Bob? Let's just want to go through them one at a time and then see if we need to keep it or omit it for 2017. We can add that one. I think we should add that. So number one's a keeper, right?
Yeah.
Number two's a keeper. Number three's a keeper, and we're gonna add the sentence, I have it written down here that Gail mentioned earlier about updating past perfect in 2017.
Update past perfect, number
Yeah.
3?
Yeah.
Okay, I can do it.
Four, like a keeper, doesn't it? Number 5. Maybe we should put that thing we're talking about brochure in there someplace too, maybe not number 5, but the brochure we talked about a few minutes ago.
Maybe it belongs there. I
It
don't know.
belongs there?
Be-
Developing,
Brochure
Yeah.
and other materials.
Other- You're calling it marketing or promotional material? Huh. Oh,
Was it develop other marketing materials?
Brochure and other marketing materials.
yeah, that sounds good. You spell funny, Brian.
What's that?
You spell funny.
This isn't final.
Tap almost as fast as you can. You can tap almost as fast as you can.
Now, that number 6, the Boulder County Historic Preservation Forum, is the one that we were talking about earlier about we hadn't been participating in lately because of the rescheduling. So, just as a point of clarification, I think we should, number 6 is probably a keeper, don't you think?
yeah.
Number 7?
I don't, no.
Do we have anything, Grasso Park?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'll have to clarify if there is money for the Grasso Park in the museum.
We were able to take care of it with capital improvements this
Yeah.
past year, but there's still the barn and the root cellar
Yeah.
and the farm equipment too, so.
Yeah, we should maybe address a little bit of that farm equipment. We have that piece that's sitting there, what is that, south of the barn that George brought in there?
Yes.
I don't know, I'm not saying get rid of it, but maybe we should address how it looks.
The solution would be to get rid of it, no.
Well,
Just kidding.
I don't know what, it's kind of like a big sore thumb sticking out.
It really is. Well, what if, maybe number 7 could be Grassville Park structures and farm equipment.
Even if there's just 2 or 3 of us or something, go in there and try and, I don't know if we want to try and paint it some close to the original color and make it look just a little better.
Do we need to identify the equipment, just put it on, a little
Yeah.
placard or something?
Yep.
And the thrashing machine there, now, that was one of the requests, remember, from Doherty over there?
Yep.
That's all I wanted was, that he contributed the.
Yeah.
Well, maybe that could be number 7, but also includes farm equipment, maintenance and signage.
Remember the roof to your jail too.
Yes, you're something to protect the jail.
Your
Yeah.
jail. You're going to spend the rest of your life.
Yeah.
I was thinking that as a farm equipment, maintenance and signage, that sounds like.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll make it sound a little bit better.
Okay.
But that orange piece, that orange thrash machine is the next, after the big one, is the next one.
Yeah,
The next
chronologically.
design, because it has a motor that runs the cutting, and it has a separate engine that runs the separating the kernels from the ear or the
It's the first generation combine?
yes, first generation combine, correct.
Number 8 we could keep. Number 9 we could keep. Number 10 we could keep. Number 11, we're working on that, aren't we? So,
Is there a lot of difference between 9 or 10 and, 9 and 11?
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
I think it is different, yeah.
Okay.
I think number 12, we can go do Yahoo and done,
Yes,
can't
yes, we can. Something we actually completed, that's great. No, so we could probably, at this point, then do number 12, we'd explore potential for, explore possibilities for covering the jail cell located at Grasso Park.
Now, you talking just build a top over it? Not totally enclosed.
Yeah.
No, we don't want it totally closed.
Anything else in first quarter?
Oh, and then the fan house thing?
Oh, yeah, okay, then
Contract.
contact Boulder County Open Space about preventive maintenance on fan house, how's that sound?
What's that?
Oh, you weren't listening? God.
I was reading, I'm not multitasking.
Go ahead. I said preventive maintenance on fan house, how's that?
Yeah.
It's good enough, Bob? or-
Yeah.
Do we need to specify at the old mine site, at the industrial mine site?
Yeah, probably so. There we go. Okay, any other in first quarter? So second quarter, number one looks good. Number two looks good. Number three looks good. I'm just, that's, if you don't agree, just say something. Or if there's clarification. Wow, number four, did we do that?
That early?
2000, change that to 2018. Can you believe that, ladies and gentlemen?
No.
Wow. And four also, right? My. Golly.
Those of a certain age that are complaining.
So where are we, five?
Yeah. 6.
6? 7?
What else we need to do in 6? Should we be specific, like the barn floor?
But I think that's what we're going to decide, the specifics of it.
Okay.
Do you want to put about the drainage?
Because there's a lean-to that also that needs to be looked at.
Yeah, that's pretty general, number 6, but I think we're really looking at probably focusing on the barn, starting to focus more on the barn now, huh?
Do we want to put about the drainage, carrying the water away from the foundations of the house?
Oh, we mean with those downspouts?
Yeah. Or was that too specific, really?
Yeah, well, I guess if it doesn't get done this, might be able to do it out of this year's budget.
Yeah.
Okay.
This extension,
I think you should be able to cover it in this year's budget. So. Well, number 6 way is worded, just kind of umbrella, isn't it? Takes care
It's kind of general, but I mean, the barn would be included in that, you know?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a lot of this pretty unexpected stuff that you probably don't even think of now, you know, could come up. but-
Yeah, and so 8 is probably a keeper, 7 and 8 are keepers, 9, we put them in there every 10, put them in every year, and we don't seem to make any progress.
But maybe next year we can.
So we'll keep them in, huh?
Yeah, we made other progress.
Well, then number 12 talks about stabilizing the floor, repairing the barn, so. Anything new for a second quarter? Feel free to chime in. So third quarter, number 1's good.
Do we want to consider participating in the Chili Fest, or just not really, and take that out? Because we haven't for several years, it's just
No,
not.
I think it's kind of kept it in there just in case we changed our mind and got inspired or whatever. So what do you think, everyone, about number 2? Keep it in there or take it out?
I'd suggest taking it out,
I think
because,
take it out.
yeah,
Yeah.
we're,
It's been in there for several years and we've opted out,
Yeah.
so.
and we're busy with the school trips, and people aren't interested, they want to eat chili and drink beer, they don't, which is
You're right.
logical. Yeah.
Yes, I hope, right.
You are clever, Brian.
Then, the rest of them are keepers, aren't they? And of course, oh, I see, number, yeah, this review, okay, good.
What about, talking about display cases for the museum?
Oh, good
That's a
idea.
good idea. Might want to consider, I'm trying to think where to put it, Lindsay, what,
Even
Put
back
it
up at
first quarter,
first
huh?
quarter, yeah.
consider acquiring, I think what we're talking about, Brian, is acquiring additional appropriately sized display cases for the, cases for the museum building.
Want that anywhere. I'm actually faster than.
Sure, Brian.
Get your fingers in the right place, man.
Yeah, okay, thanks for that one.
Well, then, talking about display cases, what do we want to do with the ones that are in the barn? I mean, we talked about getting rid of them. Where do we want to put that in as the, you know, you have the display case in there, there's what, a TV set in there? I think there's an old stove in there.
The stove we talked about moving to the house at Grassville Park,
Okay.
putting a couple bricks under the broken.
Similar.
That's under the second quarter where it says disposing of surplus materials.
Yep, I think that's
Okay,
right, Lindsay.
that's
yeah.
where that should fit in there, and then that's maybe a good place. So maybe we've got it covered.
But we would actually have to do something about it.
Well, very true.
Yeah.
Put it in Bob's garage. That display case in the barn.
Oh, that's yours.
What number is
Now
that?
think about how much you want to do next year. This list keeps growing.
Yeah.
Hold on a second.
Yeah.
That's okay, that's something we gotta do.
Just an aside on that is, I think isn't the Boulder History Museum moving or something to new premises? I was wondering if
Yeah, they just had the groundbreaking a couple
Okay.
days ago on the new place, yeah.
if they might be interested in a display case.
Well, I tell you what, I've been to their storage place in Gun Barrel. They've got an entire museum out there, so. But I think we could sure put it out through the round table and through ANFRAM, see if anybody wants it.
Once what, our old display?
Yeah.
We have to clean all the stuff out of the inside of that, mice and
Or else
rats.
just,
I'm afraid that,
it might be simpler and faster to say, hey, town, can you load this onto a pickup and junk it?
Yes.
Because it's hung around for years, we talk about it.
Yeah.
I've mentioned it at ANFRAM, nobody looked the least interested.
It's too big for anybody.
Yeah,
I think it is.
so,
And it's not in real
Good idea.
condition.
yeah, let's just,
So back to
Get
you,
it out
Brian,
there.
on that. Town dumpster.
Dump it.
Yeah.
I don't know how,
I think we ought to see what's in that lean-to also, and maybe there's stuff in there that can go to the dump also.
There is stuff in there, definitely, so, but
Yeah.
I think it's scrap wood more than anything else, but
Well,
yeah, that's
Coke
okay.
machines in there too.
Oh.
that's by the barn, you mean, not the house.
Yeah, and we need to take a look at that and make sure that's not sitting in the dirt and rusting.
Well, it's covered with dust, I know that.
Well, that part, but I'm talking about getting wet and
The ground.
rusting or whatever.
Well, that should be on our list of what we do with it next, I think.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, what are we not including? What needs to be included that we haven't? In any of the 4 quarters?
I don't know, I think our plate is extremely full.
A lot of them are just things we're just doing in progress, so.
Right.
That's why I put on there to come back and revisit this thing before next December again, because I think that was helpful, we did that before, so, oops, we forgot to do something. Well, if no one has anything else, then Brian, I guess we go with it.
Go back to the second, on number 8, I'm just don't quite, and continue to refine the process of accepting monetary donations and donation items. What are we trying to do there, I guess?
It probably started when we brought in the US bank account to town, I think, Bob. I think that's why I got up there in the first place, so you think maybe we don't need to have that up there anymore?
Well, I don't know, I don't, I guess what we're doing now, is they pretty acceptable or not? I don't know.
Well, at one time, we talked about maybe doing something like the Lafayette Miners Museum had done, where we gave people credit, but I think that gets to be too long a list.
Yeah.
Remember how they have,
Plaques,
Yeah.
plaques.
yeah, and we had, well, early on, we had a lot of donations given in memory of somebody, like Margie
Yeah,
Asti,
yeah.
and,
Well, yeah.
and when Denzel's sister passed
Yeah.
away. But I don't know if we want to even do that anymore.
Yeah, we haven't been doing it.
No, we haven't, and we
Yeah.
talked about it once, but I
Yeah.
don't think it went anywhere.
Okay, yeah, so you're talking more about the memory of
Recognition.
somebody.
Yeah.
So are you thinking, Bob, we can just get rid of this item?
Well, you know, I don't think anything has been done with it,
Right.
you know, and.
And there's, yeah, I'm not sure it's relevant.
And then if we
Well,
take it off though, then we might
yeah.
forget about it, so.
As I recall, we were kind of trying to decide what to accept, not just everything. 'cause
Yeah, that's true, you're right there, Gail, yeah.
I think
Yeah, there's
that
a lot of
came up.
thought to that,
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know whether we can come up with some plan for accepting, just kind of,
Well, we do have a plan for accepting things. There is a checklist that we have in the
Yeah,
basement.
we did.
And what I guess the thing that we need to do is, when something is donated, then make sure that we meet so that a few people are making those decisions.
well, maybe you want to leave it in there, that,
Mhm.
because maybe, you know, you're always, you know, refining, like you say.
I don't know, I think we need to look at that list again and see if it needs refining.
Well, yeah, man, just leave it in there, I guess, for right now.
I think so, because I think it makes us come and do what we're doing right now, and just re-examining it and see what
Yeah.
we're doing it or
Okay.
not doing it, or.
All right.
And that criteria could change too, if we ever got the old school building,
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
because then that opens up a whole lot of space.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's my
We sent her over to talk about it at some point.
Mm.
On number 12, can we put lean-to with the barn and lean-to? Is that what-
And I think Walt was also referring to the lean-to on the house as well.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah, so there's lean-to on the barn, lean-to
Oh.
on the house.
Barn and lean-tos, leans-to?
I think so. I think there's two twos, not two leans. No.
I
Yeah.
mean, we never open those to the public, but still, we need to be aware of what's there.
Yeah, because we're,
Yeah.
Or
like
just
Wally
supposing
brought up
it's
the Coke
supposed
machine,
to
we
be.
just kind of just don't think about it since we don't look at it.
Oh,
Yeah, let's put in lean-tos there.
Can I get a spelling on that?
L-A-N
L-E-A-N
dash T-O-S, I guess.
dash what?
T-O-S,
T-O-S?
lean-to. There's more than one lean-to. So it's plural. That's.
And
Or
multiple lean,
TWOs.
no, you still got it.
Right.
Two of them,
Both lean-tos.
Two
That
lean-tos.
sound better.
And what?
Both
Or is
lean-tos.
it just
And
like
both
a,
lean-tos?
is it plural without that?
huh? Well,
I think we know what we mean.
Two, that's good. I like that one.
lean twos. Well, we can work on that. Okay,
Looks good.
nice work, everybody.
Save.
Save?
Don't forget.
Save.
All right. Awesome.
Awesome.
Now for the fun stuff, Brian,
Yeah, that's,
the Count the Lights
Count the
event.
lights.
With appropriate Hershey's chocolate.
Yes, with appropriate Hershey's chocolates, folks.
So I read in Karen's notes, it says 5:30 to 7:30, is that,
yeah,
that's the right
5:30 to
hours?
7:30. Yep, 5:30 to 7:30, Saturday, December 3rd. There's gonna be count the lights on the town tree. So we'll be taking guesses from kids there. We kind of have it advertised as like historic commission members and youth leadership kids will be accepting guesses during the event, so.
We'll start serving the chocolate and the cookies or whatever, s'mores at 5:30.
Yeah, yeah, yep.
And the mayor will say something
I
at
would
6
imagine so, yep. Well,
at some time.
yeah, I want to say that the tree will probably be lit up right away this year. We'll have a truck over there.
Can you put the truck away after the event?
Yeah, yep.
Okay. So then we need to be there earlier and decorate the museum building, I guess. That's what we do. Last year we put up the little tree. What else do we do besides the little tree?
And toys.
The toys.
There were some toys.
Yeah.
Do we still have those toys? Or
Yes, there.
Yeah, she
Still-
wouldn't
Do
take
you
that.
still want that tree?
I think it's still there.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's down there.
Don't look at me, I don't remember.
Down, it's down in the furnace room, I think.
But I'm picturing this other tree that's in our basement. And I'm
Oh.
not talking about the big one. There's another little one. And okay, if
Yeah,
it's
there's a
still there,
box.
that's fine.
The box is there anyway.
Oh,
We need to make sure that there's something in about
Okay, there we
it,
go.
just in case we have it in our house.
Okay,
What
okay.
time you want to show up over there, I guess?
4:30?
4:30?
I'm just throwing that out, that's, what do you think, everybody?
We were-
Everybody?
It was 5 o'clock one year, but it doesn't, maybe we don't have a lot to do.
Yeah, there isn't a lot to do.
We may even have decorated earlier than that particular day one year. I don't know if we need to.
Well, one tree and, I don't know if you'll put up any lights or anything like that. The town's already got the lights up, I think, on the fence and
Yeah,
on the
Yeah,
building.
yeah.
On the museum
yeah, I don't
building.
think we have too much to do.
5 o'clock, yeah.
Okay.
Sound good?
Yeah. Do we still have, or does someone have on their computer a little sign to put on the door? So if people do happen to come at 10, between 10 and 2 that day to say, close
Yeah.
10 and 2, please
Good
come back
idea.
at 5:30?
Did you make a sign on that last year?
No, but I can do that.
Okay, good. Yeah, I guess I'll write the deal for the December Sentinel, and I'll put that in there too, so so we're gonna meet at 5 o'clock anyway,
We need to have schnapps for the hot chocolate.
A little bit of
Schnapps for the
extra
commission
warmth.
and volunteers.
Well, yeah,
That's good kids.
not the public, just,
Down the basement.
yeah. I don't care where we do it.
I think we're still looking for a Santa, Larry.
Yeah, he's got a beard.
Well, it's not long enough.
We put stilts on you.
Oh, jeez. Let's see, Santa,
Is there a Boulder Heritage Roundtable on December 15th? I put that in there as a,
huh?
but I wasn't sure.
Are we through with number 2?
Oh, excuse me.
Anything else that we need to do but count the lights? Roundtable, we'll meet again in December apparently, and then talk about maybe having a potluck or a cookie exchange or something like that, so.
Okay.
I don't know if it's gonna be on the 15th, I'll let you know. Karen put number 4 in there because I received that email from Catherine. I think it was from
Yeah,
Catherine,
and then
yeah.
I got another one
Oh, you got another
yesterday. I
one.
don't know if
Okay.
that came, I don't know who that came from, but they're looking for volunteers
Yeah.
to host their historic houses. Wally and I did that a couple of years with them. It was really fun, actually. We
Well,
learned an
there's a
awful lot
volunteer.
about the houses. Remember that, the 2 houses we did?
That was a Christmas deal though, not
We did Halloween once.
Halloween?
No, but yeah, we did Halloween ones. No, I'm talking about that house that was on Baseline and
Yeah.
something or other. Anyway,
Yeah, so the point is that they need some volunteers, maybe.
they
find
need
some
volunteers and it is fun to do if you
Yeah.
are interested.
There's- In that district, there's some really interesting houses.
Oh, that's for sure, yeah.
Some big,
Oh, yeah.
huge things.
Yep.
And that's how I got this deal from Catherine. She was researching one of the houses, or one or more of the houses, and found that. So, yeah, so, do we have the contact information, who they should contact? Is anybody interested? We don't need to go any further.
I don't know if I found contact information, but all you have to do is call Historic Boulder
Yeah.
and they'll make it happen really fast.
For sure. Okay. Use of 2016 remaining funds. Is there, okay, I'll just let Alan and Gail, do you think there's some, or Mary, do you think there's some more materials we need from Gaylord or something like that? End of
Not,
the year?
not that I can think of.
We'll need a few more of those plastic sleeves, but that's not from Gaylord. I think, don't you get those at Office
Yeah,
Max?
Yeah,
Yeah, so I
they
mean, that's
just
just
do
a
that
few
out of petty
dollars.
cash, yeah. so. But think about that, because otherwise, we're looking at a few bucks for those gutter extensions, and what else are we looking at?
What about the plexiglass, some sort of display thing or cover to protect?
You can
That's
do that.
Gaylord actually has things like that. If
Yeah.
we could look at that.
Okay,
Do we have
why
a
don't you?
catalogue?
Yes, we do.
Oh, it's a catalogue online.
And it's also online, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Both. So that might be something to look at.
So if the, so if we look at maybe as much as $350 for the Past Perfect, seems like it's that much. I don't know if I'm right on that or not. And then we're probably looking at another 100 or so. Got. So if we're looking at $450, we're getting close.
I'm confused. Brian, have we already figured out the back porch update, that 758? I thought that was going to be subtracted from the capital improvement fund.
It is. This is the historic president. Yeah, so that'll be gone. This is the
Yeah.
historic.
But then you got-
956.
Yeah.
Got money up here.
Yeah, I know, but we don't have to spend the historic preservation account this year, do we?
Yeah.
It's not like,
Well, I mean, you'll lose it obviously, but yeah, if there's things that can be purchased that'll benefit the commission, I mean, the funds are in there.
Right.
It's meant for that, so.
okay.
And if we don't spend it all, it doesn't carry over to next year.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I was thinking that was like the old account, okay,
How
never
big a
mind.
piece of plexiglass are you looking at?
Well, I was envisioning kind of a box without the bottom side, the sixth side, I guess, so that it would just fit over something on a surface or something. I don't know, what, were you envisioning something?
Well, I just thought about that too, since these, well, what we have out there right now, you wouldn't necessarily want to be completely flattened, but I guess it wouldn't really matter.
But
But then I wonder if you could put, so we could have one that's like the size of a radio, or, yeah.
Mhm.
But do we want like plexiglass for the other display areas, or?
I don't know, it's kind of a new idea, so I haven't had a chance to think about it.
that's why I wondered.
Yeah.
And do you want them so they're elevated this much?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we have to kind of,
So then they need
Think
to be
about
custom made.
I
Okay.
imagine, yeah.
And where do you get that product?
Well, no, I was just gonna say, does it make sense to look at this at the Count the Lights program? And then just a matter of emailing me what, find a product or whatnot.
One place I would check to have them see if McGuckins will make them for you.
Oh, okay.
Would you mind looking in the Gaylord catalog, or the catalog?
Yeah, I
to
can
see
do
if
that.
there's something already commercially ready? Otherwise,
Yeah.
That'll work.
those guys back there, where they make the keys, they make all kinds, they'll
Yeah.
build all kinds of things for you back there, so,
Oh, cool.
in that department.
Well, McGuckin?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I think it looks like we're gonna probably make a pretty good shot at that remaining balance, but it may not
Good.
get it all, huh? I think maybe we should reimburse Mr. Walagorski for his meat purchase.
Yes.
Not necessary.
Yeah, I think so.
This is recording, not necessary. This is something we volunteered to do, and
Sure.
we just don't have a problem.
We'll reimburse Mrs. Walagorski for her molded cider.
You guys can buy the white light that's going in.
Okay.
Oh, I just have a question. Were you able to set up something for sound in the old radio? I wasn't there for the kids
I
this
don't
year.
think anything's ever been done.
Okay,
No.
because that's
Yeah.
another consideration.
Yeah.
Some
So
sort
that-
of a boom box or something that we could put in
Yeah.
there.
Now, they,
Wrong era.
Oh, sorry.
at the Rex, at the Louisville Rec Center, they have a radio set up like that with the apparatus in the back. I don't know exactly what the apparatus is,
Oh, okay.
but it plays music.
Right,
Okay.
and Jill said they have some of those old, like Fibber McGee and Molly, or they have some
Yeah,
of those kind of
right.
programs
Right.
that we
That's what
could
they,
borrow, yeah,
that's what this plays.
yeah.
Okay.
Let's explore that.
Yeah, so.
Radio guts.
That'd be
Yeah,
cool.
radio guts, I want that.
Yes, yeah, that would be nice, yeah. Even if we fudged up something this year for the Count the Lights night to have the Christmas music playing. Or-
We could do that with Pandora, but we have to get some way to have it received
Yeah, you need
wireless.
I mean, you could get like a Bluetooth speaker or something, that would be very expensive.
Mm-hmm. In fact, I have one, but we have to be able to get Wi-Fi at
Oh, yeah.
the
Ah.
museum
House.
building, yeah, at the house. Otherwise, just
Well-
hook my iPad to that speaker.
Yeah, or
Or
like,
an iPad.
I don't know, if I could like copy a CD onto my phone or something. That, I don't know.
Okay.
Then you wouldn't need Wi-Fi.
By the way, I was able to find the DVD of the Louisville Veterans and had that playing on the television set when we were open on Saturday too. So, and people really enjoyed it. The two people really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's fun to see.
Lindsay and I enjoyed it, yeah.
The town in the background, like what
Yeah.
people are wearing.
For sure.
ANFRAM will have another meeting in December, and it'll be at at Lakewood Heritage Center. And it's, I guess, the report I got the other day says there's not going to be any individual museum reports. It's going to be cookie swap and that sort of thing. Not all bad. I think the ANFRAM is kind of at a fork in the road, and they better take it. And that is that attendance is way down, and it looks like, I think it's kind of languishing right now. So it needs a dynamic leader, I think. And I think the last time there was only about 30 people there, probably only about 10 museums probably represented, maybe more than that. So at any rate,
What date is it?
oh,
It should be the 19th, that's the third Monday anyway.
thank you. December 19th. And the Lakewood Heritage Center, a lot of us have been there. It's just really a terrific museum.
Yeah, they had a great apple cider thing there over at Halloween.
Yeah.
Apple cider and they crushed apples, so it was really fresh.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
It was
Cider.
great.
Did you go? I went to that too, our family, yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
That was neat, yeah.
For your information, I've been informed by Mr. Meyer that our new liaison is Rita DeSalle. And who's not here today, obviously, so that's our connection in the future. The number 8's on there because every year I forget to bring it up, and then it's February, and then it's, oh, it's too late, everybody's back in. So if any of you are interested in not being officers or being officers in 2017 and 18, but I guess 2017. Yeah.
I need some new blood.
Yeah, so I guess I don't know if there's a formal process or not, but you know, if someone wants to nominate somebody or nominate themselves, it's open.
When do the terms expire, so to speak?
Back to Brian.
Yeah, I mean, I think we could do the formal election in January and then it'll
So
go
it's
through December, yeah.
calendar year.
Yeah.
That's calendar year, huh?
I don't mind continuing the owner's job of being vice president. Don't do much.
Presiding over the vice.
Same way as the treasurer's office.
We can trust you.
Brian has all the money there, so.
Yeah, I don't mind doing the secretaryship, but if somebody would like to do it,
Same
please
with-
volunteer.
same with vice. Yeah.
That's kind of the way I feel about the chairmanship also, so. I think what's being said is that we don't, those of us who are in it don't mind doing it, but we wouldn't mind if someone else is interested to explore the possibilities.
I guess
Especially
then
from
I would,
blood.
I guess I would have a question then. Let's just say that somebody wants to get out of one of the officers. I'm not saying they do, but let's just say they did. And we have nobody in here that's willing to take their place. How do we handle that? Because I would not want to have an officer who says, geez, I put a lot of years in here, I'd like to move on and, so to speak, be not able to get out of it because nobody will take it.
Yeah,
Draft, reinstate the draft.
yeah, I don't know, Walt. I mean, we obviously haven't encountered that.
I guess we'd have to have a kind of come together meeting or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, is that one of those things that, and I don't know if we would want to do this, but you would handle that by trying to get some new people in on the commission? But we already are at 9, so then how would you handle that?
Well,
And then how much of a time period would they need to have in order to be up to speed to where they could even do it? I mean, I can see a can of worms there being opened up like you can't believe. I'm just throwing that out. I don't know how to handle that.
I mean, in simplest terms, like, you know, like, if there was no one for secretary, it'd probably be like just reading my notes, you know, for the time being. If there was no treasurer, it'd probably be me reporting.
Yeah, but I mean, that's just a temporary fix.
Be like a temporary fix.
Yeah.
The chair would probably be the most vital position that you want that to happen to, obviously.
Now, one of the things I have said, and Larry and I just talked about this a little bit, if we needed to bring some new people in, but we don't have any openings on the commission, I, for one, would volunteer to step into to step out of the commission and allow one of the people that's an officer in the spot to slide into so somebody else can take their place if they want to.
Well, we do have
I'd be a volunteer.
We do have term limits too, though.
Well, I understand.
Which we've never imposed because we didn't have anybody waiting.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying, I don't know how to, how, we should maybe think of somewhere coming up this next year, how would we handle that situation? Good question.
You draft somebody.
Yeah, but if you're gonna have somebody go in as an officer, you want somebody that can and is willing to do it. And I don't wanna see somebody, so to speak, this is probably not good terminology, not able to get out of it because nobody will take their place. After a while, it doesn't become fun.
We do have Katie and Jill and Lindsay's already are young blood.
Well,
So
yeah.
and it's awfully nice to know we've got some people in that age category that in the wings.
But I think that's just something to think about.
Yep.
Maybe we need to address it.
It's not an issue unless it actually happens.
Yeah.
Any other new business? I ran across Jeanette Bangs a couple of days ago, and her son was involved with Derek Aiello in that project, and it made me think that maybe I could use her as a way to get to Derek and maybe to any scouts that we might have an Eagle Scout project. But I can't think of any Eagle Scout project right on hand. I'll make contact with her and see if she can get us reconnected better with Derek. Doesn't seem to be answering his emails these days. Anything else new?
We probably ought to talk about staffing for January 7th, since we don't have a meeting in December.
Oh, okay. Oh, no, we didn't talk about, that's right. We didn't talk about who's going to be here on the 3rd of December either, is there? Raise your hand if you're going to be available on December 3rd. Hey, you two at the end. We'll have the crew then. Okay, raise your hand if you're available on January 7th.
Theoretically.
Yeah, theoretically, yeah.
So it'll be our opening in January. Okay, it looks like we've got people, and by the way, as long as we keep having 4 to 8 people show up, you don't need a couple of people. We have more people do shorter shifts, give Bob the day off and something like that. I may have mentioned this to you at last meeting, but I also had a discussion with somebody who's not involved directly in this type of museum, but who was talking about, her mother started up that Astor House Museum in Golden, and she and I were talking, the daughter and I were talking about the house museums are struggling right now all throughout the country. This idea of like we're doing it. So what we're going through is probably not unusual. So it make us feel a little bit better about not getting people to show up. Because I think we're doing a lot of the right things. We can do more if we do a brochure and that kind of thing. But so I guess just keep our nose to the grindstone, everybody, and serve the people who do show up. Time for your motion.
Why? Something
Oh,
else.
David.
You were asking just now about Eagle Scout projects. I'm not sure quite if this is appropriate, but whether maybe down on the around the Grasso Park farmhouse and barn, we could have right up close to the building, we'd have the soil replaced with like a pea gravel or something that would maybe help keep the water away from the structures. And perhaps that might be something that Eagle Scouts could handle fairly easily, but
Yeah, because right now, well, does the grass, I guess the grass grows, but it's a lot of beaten down,
I just
a lot
wondered
of pure
if we,
dirt right around there. Isn't
if we had a lot of moisture or something that would help to.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Keep
You mean
the
up against
moisture-
up next to the foundation.
Like almost like a little path around the perimeter of the building.
Yeah.
And just
Improve
dig away,
drainage.
dig away the soil and
Yeah.
replace with a fine gravel or something that could be pressed down to keep it
I don't know
reasonable.
if we'd have to dig away the soil so much, would we? There's enough,
Okay.
the house is raised up enough that I think if you put a fairly decent layer of whatever, pea gravel, crushed stone or something in there, that I don't know that you would have to take anything out.
I just want to make
Yeah,
it drain more efficient or whatever.
just as an idea, I'm not sure quite if that's really Eagle Scout project material, but
Actually, the most efficient thing is to put one of those concrete things that flow out. They're curved, and that's the easiest way to do it, and then put some rock around it.
The blowout? What's that? What do you mean by blowout?
No, it's there are concrete drains
Yeah.
about this wide sloped. If you put it so that if the water goes in that concrete drain and goes out.
Oh,
Oh, that way the
Goes
flow
up.
coming out the gutters won't wash
Yeah.
it out.
That's right. And you can put some gravel or rocks around it so it's somewhat disguised.
maybe we should bring that up next year, that come under a capital improvement thing too. It's not a
It
scout
won't be
project.
very expensive to
Yeah.
do.
And I had something, sorry.
And
Thought you were done.
we should do something more with that front door on the grass house.
Absolutely.
Excuse me, Mary.
Oh, when looking through those pictures the other day in the basement, I saw a picture of the cemetery fence before
Oh, yeah.
all the nice improvements. And I thought, well, that cemetery fence is just leaning against the barn and not very exciting. But you and I talked about maybe seeing if the town could secure it to the fence around the cemetery now, not to use as a gate. I should have said the cemetery gate, sorry. Just so it's on display, because it's sort of a neat, it's not, what do you say, back to the 70s, not terribly historic, but still sort of a neat piece of wrought iron.
And that's what, I had heard that someone locally made it, and it was maybe in the 70s, and they put up the new fence, and it's a gate, it's over by the barn, as Mary said, so put that.
I think that
Attach it
happened
to
at the
fence.
time when Boulder County put the fence up around the cemetery, which was what, 1975, 78?
Something like that.
Somewhere, and I think that's when that gate came. But yes, I think you're right.
It doesn't do anything now, you're right, just,
They take the wheel off of it and then maybe somehow fasten it to
And
the
just-
wrought iron fence up there
Just
right around the gate.
Just fasten it, yeah, just fasten it, can't speak.
keep that idea alive, Mary.
Okay. I'll put keep the alive category.
We're gonna have to go back up and look at that fence and see how it could be attached and how it could be best seen if it were attached.
Yeah, and attached in such a way it wouldn't become unattached very easily.
Yeah. Masking tape, duct tape, that always works.
Duct tape will work.
Yeah,
Mary, get her welding tools.
all right, there we go.
There you go.
Okay, Wally.
I make a motion that the meeting be officially adjourned.
I second it.
All in favor? Anybody not in favor? Okay, good meeting, everybody, as
Yeah,
always.
thank
So,
you.
we won't meet again until January, so except for our little subgroup and our potluck.
Give one of these back
Very
to
good.
Larry, we don't need two of them. I wouldn't have thought he wants to pass one on to others, so.
Thanks, Brian. You say lock me up?
Are you two with the Rock Creek Riders together?
Yes, we're the writers today.
Wally,
Help
I-
you up quick. Help me up there.
Oh, never mind.
they talked about that?
Yeah, it's called wait.
No. That's when he had his heart surgery. He needed to get up out of the chair.
Pulled out his belt, got him up?
Yeah, it's 16.
Oh, thanks.
It was time to leave. I mean, good to see kids, grandkids, don't get me wrong, but it was time.
What are you doing?
So what are your,
Just like,
is Ben older or?
Pardon?
Then your older son?
Yeah,
Yeah.
So the son's done?
What was
Right.
interesting, for a guy that lives
So,
he's 2 years
in
younger.
Elwood County.
2 years
Like
apart?
10 years
Lives
ago.
all by himself. The house that he's living in
Currently,
belongs to the
so
church.
yeah, it looks like a
Was there before.
Okay.
Passing.
He was telling us that during the Civil War, that house actually stood there. And he said it
I
was
didn't
his
get a
house.
chance to read it because I let Wally have, unless he's,
I don't know if he's something.
Yeah. Act like I know what I'm doing here. Yeah.
Yeah, we were pretty fortunate. They wouldn't even let us in. They wouldn't even let us pay for breakfast. Well, we, the people behind the guys.
it out, if you were gonna stay here in the States, I could even work under the soil. I wouldn't do that.
Yeah. Right.
And some of them lost their houses in some property lines and stuff. And so they had to deal with FEMA for their house, and then they had to deal with for their property. Their house was, you know,
we had to eat lunch at home. I remember the instructions.
Right.
But that's also
is way back when, right? Talk about reliving. Tropical areas. Oh, really? So would you actually buy a body for it? Is it the body? It would be a family. It would be vacant in a few years. It's such a fascinating, yeah. Oh, yeah, Forest Lawn. Never made it. I never made it. My parents were afraid to drive to Los Angeles. Oh, I don't blame you. Because of freeways. Yeah, I don't blame you. It scares them out. I'm sure, yeah. You were in well, San Francisco. It's not so free. It's, but I like fun. Yes, yes.
certain politicians and yeah, that's gonna be my top priority right now, but, yes, I'll do that. Yeah, that's right, that. Oh, you're welcome. Joy to, do this. This is my turn. Oh, correct. I can't believe we're saying this, I know, holiday season, so stop that. It's true, the older you get, the more time goes. As it is before. Yeah. Yeah, you did. Don't lose your keys. Oh, you're welcome. Have a beautiful Thanksgiving. Oh,